Did you know that Pauley Perrette, who stars in the popular procedural drama NCIS, quit the show because a co-star allegedly threatened to kill her? Behind the scenes, a lot was happening, and Pauley's narrative of abuse ultimately caused her to retire early. Her ex-husband allegedly accused her of being a skilled manipulator with a strong desire for love, and she had tumultuous relationships with rock stars. The little-known facts regarding Pauley Perrette's life in this film will definitely surprise you more than you could anticipate, regardless of whether those assertions are accurate. Pauley once characterized herself as a disobedient youngster with a difficult past and many immature errors. She hasn't held back from acknowledging that she experimented with a wide range of substances, including alcohol, narcotics, and pretty much anything else you can imagine. She claimed that all of those behaviors were attempts to satisfy a profound emotional gap brought on by an unstable upbringing and a lack of love. Pauley's early years were characterized by many moves. She was born in New Orleans and reared in Alabama. Before she was formally considered an adult, she moved an incredible 14 times. She always dreamed of finding a place that felt like home, but with every shift she felt more alienated, as if she didn't belong anywhere. She had a difficult family life. Pauley has frequently disclosed in public that she was exposed to domestic abuse when still a young girl. She would struggle for years to overcome the severe emotional scars caused by those awful recollections. But she was still determined to find something solid to cling to in spite of everything. And education was that anchor for her. Pauley consistently excelled academically and had lofty goals. In order to become an FBI agent, she sought a master's degree in criminal justice after earning a college degree in sociology and criminal science. Few would anticipate such a dream from someone with such a tumultuous past. However, life didn't go as she had meticulously planned. Pauley had to work at whatever job she could find in order to make ends meet while she was living and studying in New York. She worked as a bartender, served at high-end parties, and sang in a small band in order to get through those trying times. All I wanted was to live. Pauley once declared that she had no intention of acting. However, a turn of events gave her a fresh opportunity. Pauley started to uncover a secret skill and an unanticipated interest within herself after landing a few commercials and small jobs. "It felt like a whole new world appeared before me," she said. "I felt as though I had at last come into being." Pauley had a really difficult career. She endured several rejections and unsuccessful auditions during her early years, but she never gave up. Pauley gradually rose to prominence with unrelenting determination and faith in her goals and abilities. Her breakthrough came when she was cast in the popular television series NCIS as Abby Shuto, a goth forensic scientist with a sharp mind. Pauley became a star as a result of the role, becoming one of the most well-known and adored figures in entertainment. But her personal life was still filled with suffering and hardship behind the spotlight and celebrity. Pauley struggled with melancholy and anxiety as a result of the enormous burden of her celebrity and the lasting effects of a terrible past. In her own words, "There's just so much to carry. I always had the impression that I was about to fall." Her love relationships, which were frequently passionate but short-lived and entangled in heartbreak, were also negatively impacted by such expectations. Pauley was constantly seeking a connection that seemed just out of reach, and she was frequently drawn to men who shared her intense inner struggle. One of her first romantic relationships was with Coyote Shivers, a singer who shared Pauley's wild and rebellious personality. Their love of music and a similar spirit of resistance drove their relationship, which was fierce, turbulent, and like a storm. Pauley once said, "We were passionate about each other. However, we were equally poisonous. As much as we loved, we also battled." Pauley soon discovered after marrying Shivers that cohabitation was not at all what people had dreamed it would be. She then disclosed that Shivers was extremely harsh, a chronic liar and manipulative. She lived in constant terror and panic for extended periods of time, experiencing emotional, physical, and even sexual assault. A superb manipulator, he was. "My life became a never-ending nightmare," Pauley once remarked. When Pauley eventually broke free and secured a permanent restraining order against Shivers, the marriage ended in a traumatic and widely reported divorce in 2006. The terror that still lingered in her voice was evident in an interview from 2018. "I feel a little safer because of my permanent restraining order." Pauley never lost faith in love or life in general, even though she carried profound wounds. Later, in the arms of cinematographer Michael Bosman, whom she referred to as her soulmate, she discovered fresh light. Her relationship with Michael was based on empathy, common beliefs, and a shared dedication to social concerns, which stood in sharp contrast to her troubled past. "We had a complete understanding of one another. It wasn't only love," she remarked. "It was a strong ideological and spiritual connection." Although they became engaged in 2008, the couple decided to postpone their actual marriage until same-sex marriage was legalized in California as a sign of equality and social consciousness. Pauley clarified, "We want our marriage to be a symbol of justice and an accepting community." The romance ended, despite the fact that they had a private ceremony attended by close friends and family. They parted up in 2009, leaving Pauley devastated yet hopeful for love. With Thomas Arley, a former British Royal Marine, she embarked on a new chapter in 2011. In addition to its romantic appeal, the couple's activism for social justice also garnered notice for their engagement. Pauley reiterated her pledge to wait for marriage equality to be a national law before getting married. It comes down to principle. She asserted that everyone deserved happiness and that love knows no bounds. At first, she and Arley's relationship was characterized by public demonstrations of devotion on social media. Rumors concerning Arley's history, including claims of infidelity and financial malfeasance, started to circulate beneath the charming exterior. Pauley, however, adamantly supported him, saying, "He's the love of my life. I have total faith in him." But by 2019, that love had ended as well. The cause of their split was never made public. "We were no longer dancing to the same rhythm," Pauley said simply. Pauley was forced to reevaluate every element of her life and her outlook on love once that relationship ended. She realized that love doesn't always follow predetermined formulas or fit into preconceived notions. She remarked, "I've discovered that sometimes the most beautiful relationships aren't what people expect." Pauley became stronger and more outspoken as a result of these experiences, particularly in her advocacy for the LGBTQ community. She became an outspoken supporter of equality and respect for all individuals, irrespective of their gender identity or sexual orientation, and she actively took part in pride activities. More than that, Pauley's artistic endeavors served to elevate the voices of the LGBTQ community. In order to increase awareness and give a candid portrayal of important social issues, she starred in the short film To Comfort You, which explored the complicated connection between a mother and her daughter in the setting of HIV. Pauley stressed that it is imperative that these tales be told. Everyone is entitled to respect, recognition, and representation on film. The public has always been curious about and speculating about Pauley's own sexual orientation. She has never, however, felt the need to categorize or identify herself in any manner. Rather, she has always been open about her ambivalent feelings for both men and women. "It's the person, not their gender, that makes me fall in love. Love is not something fixed," she once told Pauley. "The flow is constant." And she views her own life in precisely that way. She eventually decided to live a single life and devote her attention to herself as a result of this profound voyage of self-discovery. Pauley boldly announced on social media in 2019 that she was living alone and unattached, and that it was the best choice she had ever made. "No one has me as a girlfriend. I perform alone." Although many were caught off guard by the message, she gained great praise for her bravery and honesty. These days, Pauley spends her time working, supporting social issues, and developing herself. She continues to be dedicated to making a positive impact on the world around her and enjoys her freedom and independence. But Pauley's life was anything but quiet and easy. She was abruptly attacked violently by a homeless man in 2015 while she was out for a walk in the neighborhood of her Hollywood home. Her voice was shaking as she recounted the incident. "He grabbed me, locked my arms, and repeatedly punched me in the face while threatening to kill me." She suffered severe physical and psychological stress as a result of the incident. Pauley experienced frequent anxiety episodes and acquired post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. She revealed, "I was too afraid to go outside after that. I had the unceasing feeling that I was being watched from behind." Her daily existence grew oppressive and more challenging than before because of the lingering effects of that occurrence. Her personal life was not the only thing impacted by the attack's aftermath. Her professional career was also significantly impacted. Pauley avoided crowded areas, particularly movie sets, which were already tense, and became extremely cautious and sensitive. The environment was made worse by her disagreement with NCIS lead actor and co-star Mark Harmon. The tension started when Pauley expressed her worries about other people's safety after Harmon's dog bit a crew member on site. She said, "I tried to raise warnings, but my concerns didn't seem to matter." Pauley spoke out against Harmon for allegedly bullying her and fostering a hostile work environment as tensions increased because she felt alone and unsafe. Pauley once confessed to having nightmares about the matter and expressed her fear that he might attack her on social media. Both personally and professionally,
There was a great deal of mental and emotional strain throughout this time. Pauley finally decided to leave NCIS in 2018, despite her deep affection for the character of Abby Sciuto, a bright and eccentric forensic scientist she played for many years. Many fans were devastated and upset by the news as they were losing one of the show's most cherished and recognizable characters. However, it marked a significant turning point in Pauley's life and an opportunity to restore her tranquility. She progressively removed herself from the spotlight, spending time mending emotional scars and looking for fresh opportunities to follow her passion, particularly in the field of social justice. Pauley became a strong champion for victims of violence and abuse as a result of her own traumatic experiences. She called for genuine social change and raised awareness by using her voice and public persona. "I want to help people who have gone through what I've been through," she said. "I want to actually change things." Since then, activism has evolved beyond a simple purpose. It is Pauley's genuine passion and mission. It provides her with a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. She regularly uses her platform to advocate for the weak and voiceless in society, participating in a variety of projects ranging from animal rights to aiding the homeless. Pauley never really lost her love for acting, even if her career had many ups and downs. She made a comeback to television in 2020, starring in the CBS sitcom Broke as Jackie, a struggling single mother who must take in her rich sister and brother-in-law after they fall on hard times. During a personally trying time, Pauley saw the position as an opportunity to try something new and make people laugh and smile. She became more and more disenchanted with the entertainment business, though, since Broke was canceled after just one season. She was worn down by a world of politics, pressure, and unrelenting scrutiny. Pauley said, "I've changed so much," quite openly. Choosing to avoid the limelight was her choice, no longer enmeshed in the meaningless glamour of celebrity. She decided to go in a different direction instead, one that was focused on more significant things, taking care of her cherished dogs, volunteering, and leading a tranquil life near the outdoors. She responded calmly, "Now I live for God, for animals, and for the trees." In addition, Pauley rekindled her early passion for music by releasing new songs and playing in local venues, establishing a sincere bond with her fans. She also set aside time to work through her prior traumas, learn how to deal with anxiety and PTSD, and undergo treatment in order to heal emotionally. "It hasn't been easy, but I found peace," she said. Her present existence is a harmonious fusion of everyday pleasures, emotional equilibrium, and good health. "I'm thankful for every moment I have," she said. The end was not retirement. It was the start of a new era, a life based on significance, love, and truth. I sincerely appreciate your participation in this video.